Talk to him.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Whether the winters were left in the cold.
Question of the day. Let's do the question of the day. So the question of the day: which men hate modern dating, and which men are thriving? Which men hate modern dating, and which men are thriving? What y'all think, chat? What do y'all think? I'm gonna say this. I would say, if we're going to make it into subsets of men, right? These types of men over here, these types of men over here. I'm going to break it into different subsets. So I'll say this. Intentional men who are at the point in their lives and at the point in their journeys, no matter their age, if they're at the point in their journey where they're intentional about dealing with women and they truly are out here hunting and seeking for the one, the wife, whatever the case may be, right? They're intentional. They're not they're looking for the last first date. Every time they say, they ask a woman out, they doing it because they saw something in her to where they're hoping that this goes well and this could be my last first date. Men who are on that type of timing, right? Those men who are on that type of timing, they hate modern dating for sure. They hate modern dating for sure. Cortez, what's going on, brother? 333. What's happening, man? 333 in the chat if you with me. So we on the question of the day portion of the live, bro. And we talking about which men hate modern dating and which men are thriving. So I was going to break it into subsets of men, right? Y'all let me know if y'all free to come up too. I'll bring y'all up on the live stream. I'll drop the link. But look, so the men, I was going to say the first group, the men that hate modern dating are the men that are intentional, men that are still single. They have their things in order and they feel like the missing piece to their puzzle is that wife piece. Those men hate modern dating. They do. Now, which men are thriving? Men who have some resources. They have their affairs in order. They're living a bachelor lifestyle and they aren't necessarily looking for anything serious. They understand the climate out here. They understand that it's a serious, filtering system to try to get to that wifey. And so instead of seeking it actively, they're going to play the field, see what the field has to offer. And if they run into something special, they open to it. Those men thriving, right? Because their intentions are different. So they don't see the current landscape the way you see it, right? So it's all perspective based, right? And it's situation based, right? And it's desire based. So what y'all think, chat? So we got a comment. JD said simps hate modern dating because it's a free for all. Simps with intention. Well, you said that like men with intention are automatically simps. Now, I'm not saying that's what you meant, but that's kind of what I took from it. You said simps hate modern dating because it's a free-for-all. Simps with intention. What about the men who aren't simps with intention? Wouldn't they still hate modern dating? Wouldn't they still hate being expected to overspend on first dates just to find out whether they do or don't have chemistry or do or don't like this person? Wouldn't they, still hate, going to the average chick they meet, they go to the Instagram and she's taking a picture with her back turned to the camera and 80% of her photos, she taking pictures ass first. Like some people, a person with intentions, whether they're a simp or a full-blown alpha, they probably have a certain outlook on modern dating and what the landscape of the field looks like. You feel me? But the men who are cool with playing the field, the men who are cool with running up the numbers and they not super serious about sitting down right now, they cool. Like if they run into wifey, it's like, oh, okay, well, But if they don't and they just out here, just taking fine shit out here and there and linking up with fine shit here and there, fine is relative to who they are, right? And their taste. And that's how they moving. Shit, they thriving. That's my answer, chat. What y'all think, man? Let me know. That's what I think. And then let's do it. Let's look at it from this way. Men who make middle class money versus men who make upper class money. Which one of them hates modern dating? Which one of them are thriving? I would literally say, does the money matter? Does the money matter? I don't know if it matters, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, chat. I'm not sure if the money matters these days because I think it's really about your intention. So if you middle class and you not serious, you want to date around and play in the field, you on all the dating apps, you swiping left and swiping right, and you trying to see what's to it. You on your whole phase, right? You running around, right? If that's what you on, this climate is like it's wide open for you, whether you got bread or not. I feel it's just a matter of like how particular you are on what you want the women to look like, as far as like on a scale of 1 to 10 physically. Cause I know some dudes where it's like if they just trying to run through the streets and they not, I know some dudes who went through phases where they wasn't caring what nothing looked like. It was just like if the body is cool, like everything else was acceptable. They just trying to crack right quick. I had a homie that once told me at this point, right now in this phase I'm in, I'm only worried about what it looked like from the back. I said, that's sus. We had a nice little argument about that. I said, that's sus. No, I care about the rest, folks. I care about the whole picture, folks. Because what we talking about at that point? You know what I'm saying? No, Sirski. We got a comment. He said, I feel like modern women want to see a man who has other women after him. Okay. Now, why you on the women? We talking about us right now, Cortez. I respect that, though. I think in general, women are attracted to men that other women are attracted to. Hence the fact that they say, what is it? Women in general find 80% of men unattractive. So that's why you got so many multi-time offender baby daddies. You know, they don't got one baby mama. They got 4. They got 3. You know what I'm saying? They got 6. They got, they're running it up because they got their pick of the litter. If you one of the ones that are attractive to women with the current climate, and that's why the question of the day is what it is: which men hate dating and which men are thriving? Because if you one of the ones that are who has their pick of the litter, right? So if you're a man that's in that 20% of generally attractive men, you got a decision to make. What type of man do you want to be? Do you want to run through the streets? He said that's not true about the 80-20 stuff. Shout out to Jack. New to the chat. What's going on, brother? I appreciate you tapping in with me. Welcome to the codes. You're more than welcome. Thank you for participating. He said that's not true about the 80-20 stuff. Most people are married. Now, when you say most, you just mean more than 50%, correct? Because I believe that to be true if you're not considering ethnicity. I think most people are married. And then you'd have to narrow it down to an age bracket too, Jack. But what you're saying is not untrue about a populace of people. You're definitely on point. Cortez said, it's about us. If we can't attract women, we shouldn't expect them to want us. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, I don't think men operate in delusion because we're not allowed to. We don't really have that luxury. Jack said, yeah, most people are married to it can't be 80-20. Well, that's not true either, Jack, because you could be married to somebody that you're not necessarily attracted to. So it definitely could still be 80-20. But if I think that metric is hold on, chat. We got a connection issue. Hold on. All right, chat. We back. Y'all got me? My bad, y'all. Y'all got me, chat? All right, I forgot where we were. All right, y'all going crazy in the chat. Let me catch up, y'all. Yeah. Oh no, I remember what I was saying. I was talking to Jack. I was saying, Jack, I think that 80-20 thing is talking about the market of single people, though. I don't think that's applicable to the populace of people that are married. But it also doesn't mean people are married to people that they're physically attracted to either, though. It's all something to talk about. I appreciate that perspective, though. We'd have to mine that out a little more. JD said serial monogamous brothers are thriving because it's just like they are okay with being hurt and being alone for a period and doing it all over again. What's a serial monogamous brother? What's a serial monogamous brother? You got to define that for me, JD. Jack said how women choose an online dating context is not indicative of their real life preferences. Now that I agree with 100%. I'm on board with that 100%. I think we could have turned some of your other comments, Jack. We could have turned those into like some debate topics, and maybe we will. But this one, this an echo chamber moment. I agree with you 1,000%. Women do not choose the same online or in their podcast rhetoric or on their panels as they do in real life. That's a fact. That is a cold-blooded fact. This shit about short dudes and this shit about money and all of that, man, women date who they have a draw to. And a lot of it for them is physical attraction. And they not necessarily tripping about height as long as you're not hyper short, right? You're not 5'4", 5'5". That's when it start being trouble for you. But if you 5'8", bro, 5'7.5", and you wear the right shoes, bro, and your physique is in order, you gonna win, G. Put that shit on, make sure you smell good, G, you gonna win. Them chicks ain't tripping about that shit in real life. They only tripping about that shit on Pop the Balloon. Cause women want more than women care more about what shit look and sound like than they do about the reality of things. Correct me if I'm wrong, podcast. What's going on? We coming back live this evening with y'all. Correct me if I'm wrong, podcast. What's good? 333. Jack said women might not find a man attractive initially, but attraction might grow over time. That's facts. It can. They could lose it too. Jack said men and women really are more alike than they are different, in my opinion. Yeah, I think if we had to do the bubble chart, you saying it would be more stuff in the middle than on each side? I don't know about that. It's close. It's close. It's a tight race. Question of the day is what we on, chat. I appreciate y'all participation. Question of the day is what we on. Which men hate modern dating and which men are thriving? What types of men? He said, absolutely. Yeah, it's close. It's going to be a tight race for sure on that one. But men and women do have a lot of similarities. But the differences, I think, are things that we have found to become pain points instead of understanding that they're natural. And I think the perspective on it is what kills a lot of relationships. Cortez said facts. Like the fact that women are super emotional, it don't bother me like that. But it bothers them that I'm stoic. You see what I'm saying? So for me, I'm understanding of female nature and I'm cool with the pros and the cons. Can't live with them, can't live without them, right? But for them, it's like, nah, I'm trying to mold you to be perfectly how I want you to be. And it's like, nah. And you see a lot of men, we just not going for that shit. And then you got women that got smart. They made some music about it. Can't change a man. Don't be a stupid girl. You know, the females be trying to give each other game, but it's more of them keeping each other single than it is helping each other out. Would y'all agree, chat? 333 if I'm telling the truth. Y'all let me know if I'm lying. JD says serial monogamous are people who date for a period, but they only date one person at a time. Example, 6 to 18 months. That sounds like a hoe. Because if you only dating 6 to 18 months, that means you catching 2 to 3 bodies every year to year and a half. So over a decade span, you might you could hit 20 to 30 chicks, man. Talking about serial monogamous. You done ran through the streets at that point. That math ain't mathing for me, y'all. Y'all do the math for me and let me know if I'm tweaking. He said serial monogamous are people who date for a period, but they only date one person at a time. Example, 6 to 18 months. Y'all do the math on that. Y'all let me know if over the span of 10 years, is that person a hoe? Particularly, let's say, yeah, period. Gender aside. Jack said, women are emotional because they aren't shamed when they are emotional. Men are shamed for showing emotion. It's not a natural thing. It's a learned thing. I'm gonna push back on you. Let's have a conversation, Jack. I'm gonna push back on that. I'm gonna say men are less outwardly emotional because we are chemically different. So we do feel less emotions than women. We are more logically based. So we do spend less time in our feelings. And we're natural problem solvers and fixers. And people who are tasked with solving the problems and fixing, they do have to kick out of the tears and the crying and the woe is me shit a little bit quicker than the person that gets to lay back and get saved, right? We're the ones with the capes on. So I'm gonna have to push back on that a little bit, Jack. What y'all think, chat? He's saying it's not natural for women to be more emotional. It's just more of like a social construct. I disagree. Jack says, how many boys are told not to cry? They told not to cry because it's mandatory for them to toughen up. You're gonna be a man soon. If you're teaching your boy to cry, well, y'all know who Saucy Santana is, right? How many boys are taught not to cry? All of them should be. Stop crying. Get your ass up. When your daughter fall over, you should be, baby, are you okay? Come here. Let me look at it. Let me kiss your boo-boo. We're going to get you some ice cream. When your son fall, you all right. Because guess what? When he grow up to be a man and the house set on fire, he can't panic with his wife. He can't panic with his wife. He got to be ready to die about it. And it's only one way to make a soldier. And it ain't from buying them lollipops. Jack said most people are serial monogamous. Yeah, I don't like that definition. That serial monogamous thing sounds like a real classy term for running the streets. Correct me if I'm wrong. Podcast says men who have no trouble speaking to women, socially intelligent, half decent looking, are enjoying the modern dating market. That's if they so choose, right? So let's take this whole definition. Correct me if I'm wrong. Follow me. Let's take the whole definition you just laid out and say that man has intentions and he wants to find his wife. Does he still find this dating market to be dope? I respect what you're saying if you're an articulate, good-looking fella who want to play around. But if you looking for wifey, are these streets good to you? Answer that, bro. JD, he said most people are not because they intentionally know they expect to cheat now. They expect to cheat now. They are polygamous. Most people are not, because, bro, your lack of punctuation be killing me. Y'all, he be having me sounding illiterate, bro. Look at correct me if I'm wrong and how he used all them commas and how I was able to read that. This shit, this one big sentence shit, you killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. Most people are not because they intentionally know they expect to cheat. Now they are polygamous. People are operating in polygamy and they don't know it. Or they're just not calling it that. Jack said, I'm an attorney. Women are just as capable of being logical as men. I've worked with many women that are as logical or more logical than men I work with. Well, what are the circumstances in which the woman is logical and the man is emotional? Is she in the middle of taking all his shit? Talk to me, Jack. Talk to me. And I appreciate us having some illegal representation on the pod. Welcome to the codes. Yes, sir. Being an attorney, I'd say that you deal with the most illogical men the majority of the time. Hence, they need you. Yeah, that's my point. Yes. Hey, correct me if I'm wrong. Said he's fucked. Who's fucked, bro? Jack said, if you're a good man and are looking for a good woman, you aren't going to date. That's going to be looking in different places. Yeah. He said, like church, libraries, community centers, etc. Yeah. You used to be able to find you a decent one at the gym. I'm not gonna lie. You used to be able to find a wholesome woman at the gym, but now they all gym babes and gym baddies and tripods out. You know what's going on, fellas. Y'all know what's going on. All right, y'all. We about to shift gears though. We finna get off the question of the day, man. That's good talk, fellas.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Weathered the winters when left in the cold.